General Hospital spoilers tease that one of the latest shocks in Port Charles comes from Alexis's drastic decision, something no one expected, in an attempt to save her daughter, Christina. As a mother who has always tried to protect and care for her children, Alexis realizes that Christina's situation has spiraled out of control. The only way to save her from a future in prison is to confront decisions Alexis never wanted to make. This isn't just a story of maternal sacrifice. It's a shocking twist for everyone who believed Alexis would always choose gentler ways to protect her daughter. Now, she's forced down a hard and dangerous path. Ever since Christina caused the near-fatal accident that almost killed Rick Lansing, Alexis has begun to realize that her daughter is no longer the person she once knew. Christina's action, cutting the brake line in Rick's car in an attempt to kill Ava, has placed her in a dire situation that can't be salvaged without serious intervention. And once the truth about the accident comes to light, Christina could face charges of attempted murder and a minimum of 20 years in prison, a sentence that would destroy her future entirely. As the situation escalates, Diane steps into the fray with a shocking legal strategy. A seasoned attorney, Diane knows that unless Alexis acts immediately, Christina won't have a chance. But instead of handling the case through typical legal means, Diane proposes a radical agreement. This is not a simple legal recommendation but a major shift in how to protect Christina. The real shock comes when Diane encourages Alexis to sign commitment papers, declaring that Christina should be placed in mandatory psychiatric care before she faces criminal charges. This is an incredibly difficult decision for Alexis. She must choose between signing the papers to save Christina from a lengthy sentence or allowing her to continue down a destructive path. Diane doesn't just want to save Christina from prison, she wants her to understand that psychological help is essential to survive emotionally. But signing the commitment papers is not simple. It's not just a legal decision, it's a surrender of control in the family dynamic. Alexis, despite wanting to save her daughter, struggles to sign the papers, fearing it means losing the ability to determine Christina's future. Moreover, signing the papers is an acknowledgement that Christina is facing serious psychological issues, something that could hurt Christina personally and damage the Davis family's reputation in the community. Things get even more intense when Molly stumbles upon Diane and Alexis, bringing the commitment papers to Christina, which leads to a tense confrontation. The face-off among the three women is emotionally charged. The problem is no longer just about legal redemption but about raw emotional conflict. Christina, mentally unstable for some time, cannot fully grasp the reality of her situation. Facing her mother and her lawyer, both trying to convince her, only adds to her confusion, offering no clear solution. Christina is too far gone to understand she needs help, leaving Alexis and Diane racing against time. Diane, the only one able to objectively assess the situation, knows that if Alexis doesn't act, the Davis family will lose all control. She pushes Alexis to sign the papers, fully aware of how hard that choice is for a mother who deeply loves her child. But she also knows this might be the last chance to save Christina from self-destruction. The looming legal consequences threaten Christina's entire life, and if Alexis doesn't intervene, no one else may be able to. This story places Alexis in an agonizing position, forced to make a decision no parent ever wants to face. Will she prioritize her daughter's well-being and sign the papers, or let Christina face the consequences of her own actions? The central question remains. Does Alexis have the courage to make this difficult decision and save Christina, or will she watch her daughter spiral into irreversible ruin? This shocking agreement doesn't just offer Christina a legal escape, it's a massive emotional trade-off for Alexis, forcing her to confront painful truths and make a choice that could alter their family forever. The story of Alexis and Christina grows increasingly intense and complex as Christina's unhinged behavior pushes her into an irredeemable situation. After the serious accident she caused by cutting Rick Lansing's brake line, an act that endangered Rick and shook Alexis to the core, everything changed. This wasn't an accident but the peak of Christina's emotional and psychological collapse. Ever since losing the baby she was carrying as a surrogate for her sister Molly, Christina has blamed everyone around her, especially Ava, whom she sees as the root of all her pain. But the deeper concern is the extreme actions Christina is now taking to cope. which not only harm herself but others as well. Alexis, the ever-protective mother, now realizes she can no longer shield Christina through traditional means. Love and concern are no longer enough to save her daughter from the dangerous mistakes she's making. Alexis knows that without a strong intervention, Christina will destroy herself, and drag the family down with her. The attack on Rick is just one consequence Christina must face. Without immediate help, she could face 3 counts of attempted murder, with a minimum 20-year sentence if convicted. The situation has grown so grave that Alexis sees the only way to save her daughter is to force her to confront what she's done. That might mean Alexis must deliver Christina into the hands of the law herself, something she never imagined doing. But now, Alexis must ask, is she willing to sacrifice her own peace of mind to save her daughter from complete self-destruction, or let Christina suffer the consequences of choices she may never recover from? This is one of the most difficult decisions Alexis has ever faced. Diane Miller, the Davis family's attorney, remains the one clear-headed figure in the chaos. She knows Christina doesn't just need legal defense, she needs psychological help to process her deep emotional wounds. But helping Christina won't be easy. Diane knows that without urgent action from Alexis, not just Christina but the entire Davis family will lose their last chance to turn things around. So Diane approaches Alexis with a difficult but necessary solution. She must sign the commitment papers to place Christina in psychiatric care rather than face harsh criminal charges. The real shock lies in Diane's demand, not just a legal tactic, but a deep acknowledgement that Christina needs serious psychological intervention. It may be the only way to spare her from public disgrace and inevitable legal ruin. But it also means Alexis must relinquish control and allow the legal and medical system to decide her daughter's fate. It's a painful decision. Alexis must confront not just her guilt but also the reality that she can't help Christina on her own. When Molly stumbles into Alexis and Diane's discussion and helps bring the papers to Christina, everything comes to a head. But the confrontation doesn't solve anything. Christina, disoriented and emotionally unstable, can't recognize how serious the situation is. Her resistance only complicates matters further, intensifying the tension between her and Alexis. Alexis, full of love for her daughter, can only endure the pain while knowing each choice she makes could have devastating consequences. Diane, with her legal clarity and experience, knows time is slipping away. She recognizes that Alexis's hesitation is only making things worse, and immediate intervention is the only way forward. But it requires an immense sacrifice from Alexis, as she must give up her role as the ultimate decision-maker and accept the tough conditions Diane lays out. This story isn't just about legal outcomes, it's about the sacrifice of a mother for her child. Alexis's love, responsibility, and willingness to let go will determine not just Christina's future, but the future of their entire family. With painful decisions ahead, Alexis must answer the biggest question of her life. Does she have the strength to save Christina, even if it means taking the fall in her place? This is more than a legal drama. It's a story of manipulation, love, and the impossible choices a mother must make to protect her child. When Diane Miller realizes that she is no longer just the legal protector of the Davis family but now stands before a chance to take over Alexis's legacy, a major shift is about to unfold in her life. This is not only an opportunity for Diane to expand her legal empire but also a pivotal turning point in her career. Diane, with her talent and esteemed reputation in the legal field, is now more than just a lawyer. She is becoming the heir to Alexis's legacy, a position no one saw coming. With Alexis's trust and the support of the Davis family, Diane sees this transition as a chance to grow her law firm. To her, inheriting Alexis's legacy is not merely a title but a heavy responsibility. She must ensure that all of Alexis's assets and interests are legally safeguarded while representing the Davis family in key financial and legal decisions. In this role, Diane can not only manage Alexis's remaining estate but also shape the future direction of the law firm she has worked tirelessly to build. This is her moment to show leadership, elevate her firm to new heights, and expand her influence within the legal community. However, this significant opportunity also brings a thrilling yet challenging new storyline. Expanding her law firm won't be easy, especially as she navigates the Davis family's internal turmoil, particularly involving Christina and her legal complications. Diane is fully aware that to advance her firm, she must employ bold strategies, leveraging Alexis's support, building stronger ties with the Davis family, and forging partnerships with major clients and strategic allies in the industry. This means Diane must become more than a legal advisor, she must become a leader and visionary, spearheading the development and branding of her law empire. But it won't be without resistance. Diane will face significant competition from rivals in the legal field, many of whom won't easily accept her rise to power. The legal world's competitiveness may force Diane to confront schemes and betrayals from those eager to undermine her during this time of transition. She knows that if she wants her firm to grow and gain substantial influence, she must lead smartly and adaptively. One of Diane's biggest challenges will be protecting the Davis family's interests while expanding connections beyond the family. She must manage the complex relationships between family members while preserving her firm's independence and credibility, avoiding being dragged into internal conflicts. This creates a compelling storyline, not just about Diane's shift in power and responsibility, but also about the intricate and calculated relationships she must manage while leading a legal empire. Her decisions won't only impact the future of the firm, but also her relationships, career, and personal life. She'll likely face pushback from Davis family members who may not fully support her taking over Alexis's legacy and expanding her influence. Yet Diane sees this as her chance to prove she's not just a brilliant attorney, but a visionary leader. She can draw on her connections and experience to build a strong legal empire and extend her reach in the legal world. But like any story of power, this journey will come with trials and dangers. Diane will face tough choices, turning points, and possible betrayals by those she once trusted. Her path to expanding the law firm and inheriting Alexis's legacy will be filled with unexpected twists, secrets, and intense battles of wits. Diane is not only facing changes in her career but also grappling with challenges she could never have anticipated. Will she succeed in building a new legal dynasty? Or will this change drag her into a mire from which she can't escape? The answer lies in the bold moves Diane chooses to make. With the strong presence of Carolyn Hennessy as Diane Miller, a long-standing actress in General Hospital, no one expected her to make a stunning threat about her future in the role. Reportedly, Carolyn Hennessy warned producers that if she isn't given a new, more powerful storyline, she would leave General Hospital. She is said to be unhappy that her character, Diane, has been sidelined in major plotlines and feels that without a change, she can't stay with the show much longer. This threat has not only shocked fans but also forced producers to reconsider Diane's future in General Hospital. Diane is a beloved character, admired by audiences for her intelligence, sharpness, and ability to handle intense courtroom drama. However, her recent lack of meaningful screen time has faded her presence. And Hennessy's warning strikes a serious blow to the writers, prompting them to rethink and possibly expand Diane's arc, especially as major characters like Alexis face tremendous upheaval. As for Alexis, the madness she's facing only adds to the drama and unpredictability. In an extreme and painful move to protect Christina from legal ruin and reckless actions, Alexis is willing to go to prison in her daughter's place, an immense sacrifice and shocking twist for her family and those who care for her. Yet this very act of desperation opens a new path for the story and gives Diane a chance to step into a more central role, as she must now handle the Davis family's complex legal matters in Alexis's absence. Carolyn Hennessy's threat to leave if Diane isn't given a stronger story may also highlight the lack of depth for secondary characters, especially those like Diane who play pivotal roles. Diane's story, facing changes in power, role, and responsibility within the Davis family, not only promises gripping drama but also creates high-stakes decisions she must make. She may have to run the law firm without Alexis's support while protecting the family from serious legal threats. This could mark a major shift in the cast dynamic and usher General Hospital into a new phase, where Diane is no longer just a lawyer on the sidelines, but a crucial figure navigating the family's chaos. The intense drama surrounding Alexis and Diane doesn't just deliver shocks for viewers, it opens a new opportunity for Carolyn Hennessy. If Diane is granted a more powerful storyline, she could become a central force in the show's future developments, rather than merely observing from the periphery. This shift reflects broader changes in General Hospital, where characters must not only deal with personal challenges but also confront power struggles, family issues, and painful choices. With Hennessy's warning on the table, producers will have to craft a compelling new arc and expand Diane's presence, ushering in a new, dramatic, and thrilling chapter, for both the character and the audience. Will Diane become the new leader of the Davis family and expand her legal empire, or will her story continue to be overshadowed by other major events? The answer will unfold in upcoming episodes, where the choices made by Diane and Alexis will shape not only the Davis family's fate, but the future of General Hospital itself. The battle between Diane and Ava is not just an ordinary war of wits but a true power struggle, where each side is armed with deep calculations and cunning moves. Following recent disturbing events, Diane, long known as a sharp attorney with the ability to handle complex situations, decides it's time to step in to protect the Davis family, especially Alexis, from Ava and Rick's blackmail and attacks. She realizes that if things continue unchecked, not only Alexis but the entire Davis family could be pulled into a dangerous spiral with no escape, and Diane is determined not to let that happen. Diane is not only defending Alexis but also going up against Ava's highly manipulative and dangerous tactics. Ava is not someone easily defeated, she possesses intelligence, charm, and the connections to escape even the most intense situations. However, Diane is an adversary unlike anyone Ava has ever faced. And Diane knows Ava can't be allowed to continue her schemes without consequences. This is why Diane is determined to bring Ava to justice and make her face the crimes she has committed. The confrontation between Diane and Ava is more than a personal feud, it's a clash between good and evil, justice and injustice. Diane not only wants to protect Alexis but also to expose the dark schemes that Ava and Rick have orchestrated in the shadows for so long. The attacks and blackmail carried out by Ava don't just target Alexis, they threaten the safety and stability of the entire Davis family. If Diane doesn't act quickly, not only Alexis but her loved ones will remain under Ava's manipulative control, and that is something Diane simply cannot accept. Diane knows this will be a difficult and dangerous fight because Ava is not an easy opponent. But Diane has an advantage Ava lacks: patience and decisiveness in any situation. Diane has faced many high-stakes legal battles, but this time, she knows she's not only fighting for justice but also for her family's safety and future. She understands that without bold and timely action, everything could spiral beyond salvation. One of the biggest shocks in this storyline is that Diane doesn't just want Ava jailed for her crimes, she also wants to expose the blackmail plot that Ava and Rick have been running in secret. This is not just a legal showdown, it's a power struggle in which both sides have their own interests and are willing to use any means necessary to achieve their goals. Diane not only wants to protect Alexis, but also to prove that Ava's immoral actions won't go unpunished. Meanwhile, Ava is feeling the increasing pressure as her schemes come under Diane's scrutiny and are dragged into the light. She must now not only face Diane but also confront the truths she has long tried to keep buried. Every move Diane makes forces Ava to rethink her decisions. And the tension between the two continues to rise. This creates not only a dramatic battle between two strong women, but also a gripping viewing experience for the audience, who are left wondering who will come out on top. This battle is not just about sending Ava to prison, it's a war between justice and corruption. Between those willing to do anything to protect their family and those who exploit others for personal gain. Diane knows that sending Ava to jail is necessary. But she also understands that it will come with consequences, not just for Ava but for the Davis family as well. Diane's decisions won't just affect her own life, they'll impact the stability of everyone around her. The story of Diane versus Ava will continue to unfold with intense drama, shocking twists, and hidden truths revealed. Fans won't just witness a battle of wits between two powerful characters, they'll also see how Diane evolves in the face of adversity and how she tackles the complex issues within the Davis family. Will Diane succeed in defeating Ava and bringing her to justice? Or will Ava and Rick continue to stir up chaos and push Diane into an even more precarious position? The answers will unfold in upcoming episodes of General Hospital, as secrets are exposed and the war between justice and injustice reaches its climax.